So today we're going to be talking to my dad about religious extremism in the form of terrorism, which is currently considered a threat, though many think an overstated or overreacted to threat to our modern liberal humanist democratic capitalist way of life. How old are you when 9/11 happened?
Let's see, I'm 64 now, so I must have been, that was 19 years ago.
Yeah.
So I would have been 45.
Nice or not nice? That happened to be
It's
your
a reality.
That is what happened. So where were you, and what was that day like for you, basically?
I was at work that day, and I remember somebody in the office sort of bringing it up, and I don't know if I don't think we could watch it on the computer in those days. I think we had to find a TV. And
You talk just a little bit louder.
sure, and we had to find a TV, and someone brought a TV into the office.
They brought a TV into the office.
That's my recollection.
Nice.
And I mean, it was sort of confusing at first, of like what's going on.
Yeah.
I remember, when it first happened, I imagined it was like a private plane that had crashed into it.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of like that's weird, but as it became clear what was really happening, it got a lot more intense.
Yeah, definitely. So I think you already spoke a little bit to this, but what was your reaction when you found out that it was a terror attack? It wasn't just somebody randomly.
Well, I think it certainly made it seem scarier. I think I felt some fear and I guess confusion.
Yeah.
So what's really going on?
That makes sense. Where? Oh, no, I already said that one. Oops. What do you think about it now? After 19 years of already past it happening. What do you
Right.
think of it now?
Well, it certainly was an awful thing that happened.
Yeah.
But I don't, but it didn't seem like our reaction to it was appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
Going into wars over it, and adopting laws that took away civil liberties. I think I've told you I was protesting against invading Iraq. Right away when before we invaded,
Mm-hmm.
when it was clear that that's what Bush was going to do.
Yeah.
And that even then it seemed like to me, that's not the right reaction. And I think what we've learned in the years since, has only confirmed that.
Yeah, definitely. Do you support the war on terror? I feel like you kind of already said you didn't. But
Right. I mean, I guess as someone who was arrested at a demonstration as a youth and had the American Civil Liberties Union defend me and have been a member of them, since my 20s, the whole violation of civil liberties as part of it just seems like
Why would you do
always
that?
always a bad idea. And having studied terrorism in college, the one of the thing in a course called Political Violence and World Order, one person's terrorist is another person's freedom fighter, and clearly, killing thousands of people who are non-combatants, is a bad idea. But of course, in the course of the war, we killed a lot of non-combatants too.
Yeah.
We would say we did it by accident, and they would say we would say they did it on purpose. But
Yeah. Really, what's the difference?
or Hiroshima or Nagasaki. Clearly we knew we were going to kill thousands of innocent people.
Yeah.
Where's the moral outrage at what we did?
Yeah. I mean, I guess there kind of is in some ways.
There
you know
is
what I
in
mean?
some, but I don't think our
but,
government has ever said, "Oh, that was a mistake."
Yeah, they have never said that.
I mean, other people have said it, but I don't think our government's ever.
Yeah.
I mean, for instance, during World War II, we interned Japanese citizens, of which we've now said was a mistake and apologized and given them payment for, but Hiroshima and Nagasaki,
We never
have.
never did that. Yeah.
And what's that but terrorism?
Yeah, I feel like you already kind of talked about why you think it's not effective in some ways.
Well, I think, in terms of effective, I think clearly we needed to respond to those groups who were doing it, but we didn't have to do it the way we did. And in terms of the laws about terrorism in the United States, well, the biggest terrorist threat is right-wing paramilitary groups, and we're not effectively dealing with them.
Yeah.
So, what's the point?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think that's a bigger discussion of what is the point.
Yeah. I think it's like similar to the war on drugs in some ways, where it's like except I feel like the war on terror is a little bit better. No, actually, I don't even know. They're both awful, but I think they're similar in the sense where it's like it's a battle against like something, or it's a battle against something that is bad, yes, but like in the ways that we go about it, it does more harm than it does like good, because like it's like the war, like in similar to the war on drugs in the sense where it's like, yeah, those drugs that they were trying to get off the streets are good things for people not to do.
Well,
but the problem is we don't successfully do so. We successfully create another issue of like arresting people that shouldn't get arrested and putting people in jail that shouldn't.
And maybe part of it is that both of them shouldn't be wars.
Yeah. They're definitely problems.
They're problems that we need to address.
Yeah.
And I mean, the war on poverty, also, it's like, why do we use this metaphor? That terrorism, it's, yes, we need to stop it, and but there's really two parts to it. We need to work, to prevent people doing terrible things, but we also need to recognize that there's things we're doing that are provoking those things.
Yeah.
And there may be some justice to some of what's behind what people are doing, and the time to deal with that is 10 years before.
Yeah.
But of course now it's been almost 20 years since, and have we addressed those things? No, we've been been over in Iraq and Iran, and Afghanistan, causing trouble, not building them up.
Exactly. Yeah. Do you think there are more pressing issues than the war on terror?
Absolutely. I mean, I mean, climate change and poverty, racism,
Yeah, all those things. Yeah.
those things, and COVID, and our current president.
Mm-hmm.
Not that we shouldn't pay attention to terrorism, but like I
Mhm.
said before, the biggest terrorist threat at this point is right-wing domestic terrorism.
Yeah, and even that, like, just like learning about it, it's like the amount of terrorism that actually happened, or terror attacks that actually happen, just in general, no matter if like in the United States and in like Europe, the amount of times that actually happens are like so low.
Right,
But-
it's probably bad tires might kill more people.
Yeah, it's like something like I think it's crazy numbers about how like, oh, like you're like so unlikely to die from terrorism, but like if you look at the polls about how many people think they are gonna die from terrorism, or like the possibility they
or
could,
they're worried about it.
or they're
Well, I
worried about
think
it, it's
similarly-
like way higher than it's
Yep.
like so high.
Right, when I was a boy, the chances of a child being murdered by a stranger
Mm-hmm.
were so much higher than they are now.
But people are way more worried about it now.
But they're way more worried about it now,
Yeah.
because it's on TV, it's on the internet, it's in, it's out there for everyone to see.
There's also more ability. I think this is I think it's kind of off topic, but it's like I think the ability to take like be in more control of your child makes it so it's like people want, like, I bet people in like the 70s and 80s wanted control over their children, but it's like, well, I don't really have a phone, I can't like track them, like I kind of just gotta trust that they are where they are, because like I'm not gonna like, I can't unless they tell me, which it's like then you tell them, but it's like you can't do that. But now it's like, oh, I can make sure my child's safe at all times, so I will, kind of thing, which makes people more scared because they have the ability to know, like, oh, this I don't know, but you know what I mean. Hard to know, but it's like an interesting topic. But that's
Yeah.
not what we're talking about right now.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I got. Oh shoot, no, that was it.